The instant I walk in my parents' front door, I sense something's amiss. The atmosphere isn't inviting, it's dense, charged, like the atmosphere just before the storm erupts. Mom smiles too widely, too perfectly. "Sierra, sweetie," she says, removing my coat with a hold more shove than hug. Dad's handshake is stiff, as if practiced. In autumn, my sister can hardly keep her own excitement contained, staring at them back and forth with that telltale look I see all too often, the gaze of someone privy to a secret. "Come on, honey," Mom tells me, prodding me with a firm hand towards the dining room. The table is immaculate. Too immaculate. China only brought out for special occasions. Crystal glasses radiating beneath the chandelier. A fresh lily centerpiece. This is not Sunday dinner. This is a setup. I sit opposite Autumn, her smirk self-satisfied, the type of smirk once implying she'd hidden an ambush under my chair. Dad slices the roast with the delicacy of a surgeon. Mom serves the rolls. And that's when I notice a manila folder wedged beside Dad's plate, half buried beneath his napkin. My stomach tightens. "So, Mom caws," the sugar in her voice tempered with steel. "How's the clinic? Still wallowing in those long hours?" "Business is booming," I reply, keeping it short. "We've increased patient volume 20% this quarter." Autumn emits a laugh, careless and venomous. 20%? With that shoebox waiting room? Your lucky patients don't flee. The pieces of the puzzle fall into place. My heart races. This is not dinner. It's a setup. Dad puts down his fork with a resounding clink. "Sierra, we've been talking about the future of your clinic. Here it is." Mom cuts in, her voice too sugary. "Family-owned businesses prosper under family management. It's time we discuss keeping healing hands where it's supposed to be." My tone becomes pointed. "It's not a family business. I created it. From scratch. With our help," Dad interrupts, pushing the folder into sight. "And now Autumn has a proposal that will suit us all." Autumn stands up straight like she's on stage. "I've prepared a proposal. I'll take care of the practice, do the dull paperwork while you do doctoring. 25% profit sharing. In all fairness, that's generous given what I'll contribute." Her eyes flash like knives. The room leans. "Ramen nights, used furniture, hospital food shift just to pay tuition," all of it rushes into my head. Each sacrifice. Each restless night. Also, Autumn could ride while I fought to get here. I already have a manager. I say matter of faculty. Mom waves her hand, as if swatting a fly. "Oh, Sierra. Autumn is so much nicer with people. Remember Dr. Wilson at your clinic opening? He hardly even noticed you." But Autumn charmed him immediately. The recollection slams like glass in my chest, my success ignored. Autumn basking in attention. And the debacle last summer when she assisted at the front desk friend discounts. Scheduled chaos, angry patients. I fix my eyes on the folder. "May I?" Dad pushes it toward me, smug. "It's already drawn up by my attorney. All it needs is your signature." Autumn claps like a child. "I can start tomorrow. First thing I'll do is redecorate your office, something brighter, fresher, more he. I put my glass down with careful composure, the coaster absorbing the slightest quiver. Then I grab my briefcase on the floor. The lock opens with a metallic sound that slices the room like a gunshot. Dad's grin hesitates. Mom's fingers play with her napkin. Autumn's assurance wavers. "There's something you should see," I say, unzipping a leather portfolio, smooth and authoritative, a silent symbol of my autonomy. Dad's voice constricts. "What's this?" I lay out the papers on the table with precision. The Colorado Healthcare Partners logo glares at them. 3 weeks ago, I explain calmly, I signed a management contract. They take care of all the administrative part of healing hands. Beginning today, Autumn's breath hesitates. Dad grabs up the papers, reading, his forehead creasing deeper with each sentence. Mom's mouth opens, but no sound comes out. I sit back, locking each of their gazes in turn, my tone low, measured, absolute. You set an ambush. But this clinic, my clinic, it's inviolate. You don't get a share of it. Not now. Not ever. The ensuing silence is stifling, punctuated only by the ticking of the grandfather clock in the hallway. Their impeccable dinner goes untouched between us, the atmosphere heavy with the flavor of defeat. And for the first time in years, I allowed myself to smile. Asterisk. You can't make decisions such as these without involving family. Dad's tone is uncompromising, but there's a crack in the armor. Actually, I say icily, pushing another document across the table. I can. And I already did. I touched the page with careful intent. I underscored section 4.3 for you. No relatives in management unless voted in unanimously by the board. And the board, I pause, words hanging in the air, is me and 2 CHP partners. Not you. The face of my father bleaches white. Autumn leans forward in her chair, breaking into tears. You set this up. You wanted to leave me out. I made a business decision, I tell her flatly, not blinking first. One born of experience. I pull a fat folder from my portfolio and place it on the table with a quiet thud. The heft speaks louder than I can. These, I tell her, are patient complaints from this past summer. When you worked at the clinic, Autumn glares at the folder as if it could blow. I don't have to open it, but I do, just far enough to flutter the pile of forms. 15 scheduling mistakes. 23 unauthorized discounts 8 to your sorority sisters. 31 billing errors that came within a hair of sparking an insurance audit. Shall I continue? Mom's hand extends across the table, shaking, stopping inches from mine. Sierra, honey, everybody makes mistakes when they're learning. I rise slowly, and for the first time, I'm the one looming over them. These weren't mistakes. They were careless choices made by someone who believed rules didn't apply to her. I pull out another sheet. This one crisp, stamped with my accountant's seal. This lists the $42,000 in free treatments provided to this family over the past 3 years. Dad's rotator cuff rehab. Mom's plantar fasciitis. Autumn's pre-beach sports massages. And while you were indulging in that, I was slurping ramen noodles, working double shifts at the hospital cafeteria, and catching Z's on treatment tables because I couldn't possibly afford rent and malpractice insurance simultaneously. The silence is stifling. Their expressions contort from certainty to shock, from sense of entitlement to shame. My phone vibrates on the table. A text from my clinic manager. Did you tell them yet? Perfect timing. Reminder I no longer work alone. My staff walked through the chaos Autumn left me, and they got me through it. They know. I should have listened years ago, I whisper, recalling Dr. Winter's concerned tone when she discovered me sobbing in the supply closet. She said family and business blend like oil and water. I neatly gather my papers with painstaking calm, pushing each sheet back into position. My hands no longer shake, precise, manipulated. Dad leans forward, his voice suddenly stripped of power. We can negotiate. 20% instead of 25. A trial period. Something. I snap my portfolio shut. My clinic isn't your piggy bank. It's my career. Mom presses a hand dramatically to her throat. I never thought you'd put business before family. No. My voice is low, cutting, steady. I'm not putting business before family. I'm putting boundaries before exploitation. Autumn pushes her chair back, its legs squealing on the hardwood. You've always been so dramatic, pretending you did it all by yourself when we always stood behind you. I laugh once, bitter and acidic. Supported me? Like when Dad took a picture of you in my graduation cap and gown, or when Mom announced me at my clinic opening as just the medical person and you got the attention. Memories surface, biting and irrefutable. Or perhaps you referred to my 12th birthday when I received a card and Autumn received a new bike. Or when none of you attended my valedictorian address because Autumn had a cough. The words lie suspended in the air. The truth, for so long hidden, now irrefutable. Dad stands there now, attempting to reclaim his former authority. But his voice doesn't carry any weight. You've changed, Sierra. Success has made you cold. No. I hold his eye unflinchingly. Success has made me visible, and you don't know how to deal with a daughter you can't ignore. I hoist my briefcase, amazed at how light it is, something I feel like I've put down after carrying it for decades. For the first time since entering this house, I take a deep breath. I'll see myself out. I stand in the doorway, then glance back for one last swing. Oh, and beginning next month, family procedures will be charged regular rates. Our charity program is for patients who really can't pay, not for those who just don't want to pay. The chandelier flashes over their shocked faces. Their exquisite dinner remains uneaten, and I exit, leaving behind the hush and their sense of entitlement. Behind me, I can hear the gasp of my mother's breath, my father's gruff curse, and Autumn's over-the-top sob. Their responses once bound me, pulling me back into the comforting dance of appeasement. Tonight, not so. This time, I take a steady stride through the door and into the fresh night air. My phone vibrates in my palm. A text screen shines on. We're all here for you. My clinic manager, my staff, my family, the one I found. For the first time, I really think it's true. That evening, by myself in my apartment, memories flood like a runaway film reel I am unable to stop. I'm 12 again. My birthday falls on an ordinary Tuesday in April. The only gift waiting for me is a card leaning against my cereal bowl. No balloons. No surprises. No bike, though I'd circled them in catalogs 3 years running. 2 weeks afterwards, Autumn is 10 years old. In the driveway shines a teal bicycle with streamers attached to the handlebars and a wicker basket where treasures can be kept. Our parents applaud each unsteady lap as she circles, sunlight glinting in her hair. Sierra, snap a shot of your sister. Dad shouts, handing me the camera. This is a milestone. I raise the viewfinder, capturing Autumn's radiant face. Mom waves a handkerchief as if sending off royalty. Later, while scraping cake crumbs from plates, I query softly, do you recall when I received my first bike? Mom hesitates, sponge hung in midair. You were always a practical child, Sierra. You demanded books instead, but I hadn't high school graduation. The auditorium buzzes with beaming parents holding bouquets and cameras. My name is announced. Valedictorian. Science medal. Full scholarship. The applause dies down as I take my seat and see my parents sneaking in. 7 minutes late. Traffic was terrible. Mom whispers later, hand empty. But we arrived. You're still attending Autumn's recital tonight, aren't you? The ritual is repeated. In college, my Dean's List awards come to my parents' home and sit on a shelf, unopened. In physical therapy school, I graduate to an empty row of chairs by myself until Autumn sees me from across the quad. There you are, she says, grabbing my mortarboard. Dad wants photos of me wearing this? You don't mind, do you? For 20 minutes, I stand observing as my parents smile at Autumn wearing my cap, their faces averted from my honors cords and the diploma case that I hold. Later, Dad shrugs. Book smarts don't build practices. Sierra. 4 years later, midnight, I hunch over my laptop in the dimly lit clinic office. The screen light casting numbers that seem like chains across my face. Loan balance, $187,000. My monthly payment is bigger than rent. I send. Autumn $1,200 for yet another temporary housing emergency following her 4th layoff. My own apartment is decorated with highway rescues, a wobbly coffee table, a couch that holds the ghosts of strangers despite my scrubbing. My stomach rumbles in the quiet, louder than the buzz of the fluorescent light. The bank manager's voice rings from that morning. Without a cosigner or other collateral, Miss Bennett, we can't grant the loan. My parents had declined to cosign. But a month later, Autumn drove off in a new car they purchased for her, so she'd have dependable transportation to interviews. I wrapped myself in a patient blanket that night on a treatment table. 16 hours of work done, the next battle awaiting. I am found by the cleaning crew at dawn, spreadsheets still in my hand. 6 months later, Healing Hands Physical Therapy finally has its own building. My parents visit between Autumn's bridal shower and their dinner reservation. 15 minutes, perhaps. It's lovely, Mom says, checking her watch. Like an actual doctor's office. Dad looks at my framed credentials. Don't forget, it's all about people, not degrees. They depart before the champagne toast. Before the ribbon-cutting photo for the local journal, The Summer Autumn Helps Out, is a disaster. Her sorority friends get discounts I never approved. Elderly patients are double-booked or denied. Insurance forms accumulate like wood chips in desk drawers until I find them at midnight. Late nights deciphering her chaos. They were dull. She yawns when challenged. In addition, they're just geriatric people on Medicare. I shut my eyes in my apartment, anchoring myself in the here and now. The memories hurt, but they also drive something more powerful, determination. My family used me as their safety net, their workhorse, their afterthought for years. But now, with my phone clutched in my hand and rereading the words from my team for what feels like the 100th time, I see something. They don't get to define me anymore. Asterisk fall leaves. And I have the destruction she left behind. Patients lost, calendars jumbled, trust strained. For weeks, I sit in my office late after the final appointment, making call after call, apologizing on a personal level. Each is a stitch, reattaching ripped fabric. The turning point arrives when I least expect it. Blue Shield. My third sit down with their regional rep, a woman who's denied every claim submission with the same icy voice. She sits across from me today, lips compressed thin, prepared to give another denial. Miss Bennett, your paperwork just doesn't live up to our stand. I push a folder across the desk, interrupting her in mid-screech. These are updated protocols. Cross-reference line by line with your most recent manual. Every code, every treatment. Her eyes dart down, then expand as she riffles through pages filled with her neat jottings. You did this yourself? Every night. For 3 weeks solid. Her judgment is harsh. Most providers shout or walk out. You accommodated. 3 days later, our entire backlog of claims is accepted. Word travels quickly. Referrals increase. In months, the clinic finally experiences its first profitable month. I sit at the office one evening, the numbers shining on the screen, triple verifying before I allow myself to believe them. For once, the quiet doesn't hurt. It is strength, invisible for so long. I have discovered something invaluable. Invisibility is my arsenal. While my family pursued charm and validation, I constructed foundations in the background. Ellie demonstrates it when she slaps a hospital job offer onto my desk, salary close to twice what I make. And then, wordlessly, she rips it in half. They don't care about people like you do, Sierra, she says, her eyes gleaming. What you're creating here is precious. Carlos, my lead therapist, stays late one evening when Autumn's chaos leaves us buried in reschedules. We've got this, he tells me, grabbing another pizza box as the team tackles the backlog together. She may be your sister, but we're your family. We gather every Friday around the frayed conference table. Everyone has a voice, even the janitors. Triumphs and setbacks, large or small, all exchanged. How different from my youth. I'm not silence here. I'm not invisible. And then the call that appends everything. Denver Rehabilitation Center's medical director. Her voice is crisp, no preamble. We've been watching your outcomes. Our orthopedic department wants a partnership with Healing Hands, 2,000 patients. Let's talk. That night, the clinic glows with celebration. 9 of us now know champagne flutes, just plastic cups and a sheet cake from the grocery store, to Sierra. Ellie tests. Who saw a possibility where everyone else saw limitations? Laughter, warmth, belonging. When the lights go out and the others depart, I remain, plucking my first business license from its frame. I run my fingers over the embossed seal. It will hang in the new reception area tomorrow. A quiet message. Being overlooked is not the same as being powerless. It is building in secret until nobody can ignore what you've built. 6 weeks since my last confrontation with my family, I occupy a corner office with a view of Denver's skyline. The second-hand desk is plain, the chair unadorned, but through the glass wall I glimpse what counts. Meredith supporting Mrs. Hoffman through her post-stroke therapy sessions with an equal patience that speaks from my own creed. My office itself is humble, but my treatment floors shine with cutting-edge machinery. Every dollar pinched here, invested there. The old Healing Hand sign hangs on my wall, salvaged from our cramped first space. We've grown from 3 treatment rooms to 15. From me alone to a team of 15 therapists, united by the belief that patients come first. My phone buzzes the 3rd time today. Mom, again. I mute it without reading the message. It'll be yesterday's. Just checking in, honey. Always the words trailed by a thinly veiled question about my clinics, activities, or some report on autumn's newest crisis. The invitations have come in 3s since I quit accepting dinner invitations. Mom oscillates between guilt, we don't see you anymore, and pretended interest. Have you looked into senior discounts? Dad went so far as to call my accountant directly until I dissuaded him. Their worst desperation attempt was yesterday. Autumn marched into the clinic, folder clutched in her hand, bubbling about amazing marketing concepts that all demanded her full-time commitment. Mark, my front desk manager, dealt with it flawlessly, offered her a seat in the waiting room, then called me. I didn't even have to leave my patient session. Now, sunlight pours onto my desk as I look at the draft of the email sitting on my laptop. I've typed it 14 times, deleted it, retyped it, each word weighing, calculated, required, because some boundaries don't assume. They have to be put in black and white. I look at the draft on my computer screen. Each word has been weighed like a scalpel strike. This isn't rage. This is surgery. After much contemplation, I am setting professional limits on Healing Hands therapy. The clinic is still close to family hire or management involvement. All treatment services will be charged at regular fees. Business decisions are restricted to my management team. I am willing to reconnect our personal relationship apart from my professional life. I linger over send, quivering finger when my office door creaks open. Carol enters with 2 steaming mugs. Reinforcements, she says softly, sliding one across my desk. I raise a brow. Reinforcements? You'll want to see this. She hands me her phone. On the screen shines my mother's Facebook page. There we are, an old photo from the clinic's opening day. Her arm thrown around my shoulders like she was my biggest supporter. The caption sears, so proud of my daughter Sierra's dream with Healing Hands therapy. We've always known she had healing hands. #family business, the words have a poisonous taste, I send. The email takes flight, a line scrawled in digital rock. They never gave a dime, I say to myself. Never worked an hour. Now they're rewriting history for likes. Carol nods, her voice low. The community is taking notice. Dr. Reynolds said so, told me he sends patients here because you established this yourself. Not out of some family name. I look at the framed business license on the wall. My foundation, my verification, and the scholarship fund. I ask, approved. Carol smiles. 2 physical therapy students will receive full funding. I smile. The same extravagant charity my mother ridiculed. Carol hesitates, then produces an envelope from her pocket. She came over. Left this. My mother's elegant cursive writes out my name. Inside, tear-stained entreaties. I miss my daughter. Come home. Let's mend the wounds, our house, our terms. Just in time, my phone rings. Autumn, Monsieur Big Sis. Just us, can we talk? Carol swallows. Your father wrote a letter also? Formal, with his attorney sitting in on it? I laugh. Bitter. The tables turned. And now they want rules. From behind the glass. I observe 2 of my therapists, both from underprivileged backgrounds, leading patients with care and accuracy. My clinic, my culture, my triumph. Carol examines me. What will you tell them? I put the note in my desk drawer next to a tidy pile of every manipulative letter and voicemail. My secret collection of their efforts to manipulate me when they crave a relationship not founded on exploitation. I reply softly, I'll hear you out. Until then, I guard what I've made. 2 weeks later, the Cornerstone Cafe, ground neutral. My battlefield of choice, I get there 20 minutes early, surveying the room as if expecting battle. I sit at a corner table with an unobstructed view of both entrances. Old habits die hard. My leather portfolio lies across my lap, full of evidence, texts, emails, records of finances. Not gathered in malice, but with the same precision I apply to treatment plans. Proof, ready to slice through whatever performance they can muster. A barista comes over with a pad and a smile. Can I get you something while you wait? Black coffee. No sugar. My voice is calm, but my pulse is racing. The mug arrives, steam curling into the air like a warning. I grasp my hands around the ceramic, staring at the door. Any second now, the real confrontation begins. I watch them walk across the lot through the cafe window. An army in neutral hues, Dad stiff in his golf shirt, Mom adjusting her pearls. Autumn strutting with borrowed confidence that fails each time she glances nervously at our parents. They've come dressed alike. Cream and tan. A front united. The doorbell jingles. Their smiles come to a standstill when they see the portfolio on my table. Sierra, sweetheart. Mom leans toward a hug, but I remain in my seat. Her hand runs along my shoulder, a clumsy gesture that fails before it starts. This is homie, Dad says, sitting down in the opposite chair. His voice holds the same force he used when he grounded me at 17. We'd have liked to have dinner here. Family business should remain in private. This isn't family business, I say, picking at the portfolio. This is my business. Autumn coasts into the chair next to him, perfume wafting into the air. We brought muffins from that bakery you like, she coaxes, pushing a paper bag along the table. I don't reach out. The waitress takes their orders and disappears, leaving tension laced with the hiss of the espresso machine. Dad interlocks his fingers, leans forward. Blood is thicker than water, Sierra. Family stands together. Mom's hand slithers across the table, gripping my wrist. We've always been proud of you, sweetheart. We brag about our genius daughter, the doctor of physical therapy. I correct reflexively. Exactly. Autumn cuts in quickly, a too smooth smile on her face. Which is why I've come up with something better than last time. A consulting arrangement, 3 days a week. I'll handle social media, corporate outreach, bring in real clients. Win-win. She pulls a tablet from her purse like it's her weapon of choice. Asterisk, I sip coffee slowly. The bitterness calms me. Prior to proposals, I state matter-of-factly, you should learn something. They share wary looks at the Hendersons. Anniversary celebration, they congratulated me on my family partnership. Asked when the 3 of you became part of my practice. The 3 of them stiffen. I told them the truth. You hadn't. They were shocked. I open the portfolio, pushing papers across the table. Here are copies of your Facebook statuses labeling this a family business. And here texts from the Wilsons who are confused because mom told them you own the clinic. And lastly, Dr. Reynolds' email, questioning why dad came to him with offers of partnership. Mom's face goes white. Sierra, we were just proud. Pride doesn't change what's real. I reply icily. Autumn leans back, narrowing her eyes. You've been spying on us. Keeping files. I've been observing, I reply, my eyes meeting hers. Just like I observed when I built a practice from scratch, while you were bragging to your sorority sisters about receiving treatment for free. Dad clears his throat, his voice firming up. We're losing focus. We're here to talk about Autumn's role. Autumn has no place in my clinic, I state bluntly. Neither do you. Neither does Mom. Mom grips her pearls tightly, her voice shattering. After all we've done for you, this is ridiculous. Dad's voice slices across the table. His facade shatters, truth escaping before he can contain it. We never thought you'd actually make it on your own. We were just trying to ensure your future. The confession comes harder than any accusation. All these years, each restless night, each sacrifice, and he's confessing it. They never believed in me. Autumn's mask breaks next. Her tone biting, laced with jealousy. It's not fair. You get everything, the respect, the title, the business, and me? I'm trapped in a cubicle while you play savior in your darling clinic. There it is. Bared to the bone, their resentment, their hunger, their doubt. I snap my portfolio closed with a crisp sound, the noise deafening, as if a gavel came down. Standing up from my chair, I loom over the table that formerly kept me in its tiny space. I created this carrying all of you, I tell them, my voice firm, calculated. Your crises, your bills, your excuses. I'm not playing games. I'm tired of being invisible. I leave precise change for my coffee on the table, push back from my chair, and head out. I hear Mom's muffled cry, Dad's angry whisper, Autumn's scrape of her chair against tile behind me. But I don't look back. For the first time ever, I go forward without looking for their approval. The sunlight greets me outside, bright, sharp, purifying. And with each step, the burden of their expectations falls from my shoulders. 1 year later, I stand at the expansive glass window of my newly enlarged clinic, Denver's skyline burning gold in the daylight. The view reflects the transformation within me open. Unencumbered, resilient, double quotes, Dr. Bennett, your 3 o'clock is ready. Melissa, my senior therapist, smiles beside me. Clipboard in hand. Perfect timing, I say. Warmth filling my chest. The waiting room is a whirl of conversation and laughter. Cushy chairs line the walls beneath framed awards, community service, innovation, excellence. My original business license hangs among them like a cornerstone. 2 months in advance, appointments are filled. Evidence of what we've created. In the treatment room, Mrs. Abernathy smiles at me. There she is, the miracle worker herself. I chuckle, shaking my head. The miracle was you doing those home exercises. Nonsense, she waves her hand at me. Even my grandson says you're the best in Denver, and that boy researches everything. Her smile stays with me as I later welcome 3 new graduates to our mentorship program. Their eyes glitter with the same fire that once stayed me up through midnight study sessions. The most important thing I can teach you isn't a technique, I tell them, perched on the conference table's edge. It's knowing your value. You'll give endlessly in this field. Make sure what you give is respected. Nods tell me the message has landed. That evening, I scan the figures from our pro bono program, now 15% of our practice. A number that once terrified me now fills me with pride. Purpose. My phone buzzes. A text from Leah, my closest friend. Ready for tonight? Your turn to share. My stomach flutters. Tonight, I'll tell my full story, family betrayals and all. Terrifying, liberating. My stomach flutters. Tonight, I'll tell my full story, family betrayals and all. Terrifying, liberating. I scan my personal email before I go. Mom has sent me photos of her work at the community garden, volunteering. No strings, no demands, just sharing, baby steps. Dad's name is still not there. Some wounds take longer to heal than others. Autumn's email tells me about her new corporate position, her own way for once. The absence of exclamation points reads as quiet maturity. Later, at Leah's dinner table, hands pass dishes and laughter ripples around them. A family chosen, tied not by blood but respect. Melissa raises her glass. To Sierra, the one who taught us all that standing your ground isn't selfish. It's necessary. Applause swells like music. Later, on the back porch, mountains loom above the dying light. Leah sits beside me. You look peaceful. I am. I breathe. For the first time, I know I can heal others without shattering myself. I'll see an old man tomorrow who will thank me, truly thank me. And unlike my family members, he will notice me. I face the horizon, saying the truth that no longer seems delicate but tempered in steel. I'm Sarah Bennett, and I heal people who hold the healing in esteem. I draw out another sheet. Here's a tally of free treatments I've given this family. Market value, $42,735. And here loans I gave Autumn when I could hardly afford rent. $16,450. Unpaid. Autumn's face distorts. You told us those were gifts. I told us we'd settle it later. It's later. Dad's composure breaks. You can't expect to be repaid. After all you've what? I interrupt, tone cutthroat. After you bypass my doctoral hooting for Autumn's sorority fundraising event. After you explained to Dr. Wilson that I was just playing at business until I found a husband. After you reduced my clinic opening to just another job. My palms lie flat on the table. My tone is calm now, measured. These are my terms for any future relationship. My business is my own. No opinion. No meddling. Family sessions or charge regular fees. No exceptions. You stop calling yourselves partners, owners, or anything associated with this clinic. Mom's tears flow at last, genuine this time. You can't mean that. We're family. I lock eyes with her. Family has boundaries. Family honors one another's achievements rather than attempting to pilfer them. Dad's jaw tightens, rage simmering just below the surface, but for the first time, I'm the one at the head of the table.